Hey y'all, once again, welcome back. Chicago's long been known to be the heart of American railroading, and it certainly has no shortage when it comes to model railroads. So for the next few minutes, enjoy as we take a look at some models and incredible layouts in the Chicagoland area. Several miles west of downtown Chicago along the Union Pacific West Line. This is a triple-track main line headed out of the city with lots of Union Pacific freight trains and Metro commuter trains. And along this line are some incredible layouts, a few which we're going to take a look at today, and also lombardHobbies, which we'll take a closer look at later in this video. I know the owners, Jeff and Andrew, well, and this used to be my local hobby shop when I lived in Chicago, so always enjoy seeing them and sharing a little bit more about it with you guys a little later on in the video. For now, we're going to take a look at Elmhurst Model Railroad Club. This is located in downtown Elmhurst, just across the street from the tracks, and it's pretty easy to tell where the trains are headed inside. Let's go and take a few minutes to meet one of the members, Andrew, and then we'll take a tour of the N-scale layout just after that.
Welcome to the Elmhurst Model Railroad Club. This is the N-scale layout. You know, my wife says I should separate business from pleasure, so here I am.
This really is an incredible layout and is one that is open to the public, and you can see for yourself if you're ever in the Chicagoland area. They also have an HO scale layout, which is in the adjacent room. I've also filmed a layout tour of that, which I'll link to the description below. However, since I used to be here, the N-scale layout is now complete, and I'll say it's nothing short of spectacular. From great track work to a really well-designed track plan that's built for operations, computer touchscreen control for all the turnout switches and signals, and everything in between, they've really done an incredible job and have some great people working on this layout. And like I said, it's something you can see for yourself if you're ever in the area, and I'll go ahead and link the hours that are open to public viewing down below in the description. This is a single level dog bone style layout, which means that it's just one level and there's a reversing loop at each end. There's two main tracks going around the entire layout, which means you can have trains running in both directions constantly. Also at each end of the layout are two main yards. This is great for operations, and branching off from those yards are different branch lines and switching industries that make for really great operations. Also, each one of the turnouts on this layout is computer controlled and has a touchscreen, which I'll show you in just a few minutes, but it's a really neat aspect of this layout, and by far has one of the best wiring and control aspects that I've seen in any layout. Here you can see the westbound main lines in the background, the eastbound main lines which are in the foreground that the train is traveling on, the yard in front of that, and then a branch line even farther in the foreground. Here you can see there's a small scrap metal recycling facility. The branch line continues along the road and then to another industry, which I'll show you in just a minute. Here the yard enters back into the eastbound main lines, and we'll follow the passenger trains that makes its way into more of a suburban area here as we enter the peninsula of the layout. The suburban area, which I had a few shots of in the introduction to this video. You can really see the foreground has switching, lots of industry, while the background has a station and looks something just like you'd see outside the door here on the Union Pacific West Line. It has a really neat passenger station, and this is a prototype freelance layout. So while it's not specifically and exactly designed to copy a place in real life, it really takes a lot of influence from the area and is something that's really believable and you think you could see, anywhere in the Chicagoland area or Midwest. Another neat thing about this layout is they've built elevated curves into all of the mainline tracks. So it's hard to see because it's N scale, but it's a really neat attention to detail that once you get down track level, you can see it kind of elevates and allows the trains to operate faster. So the outside rail of the curb is actually elevated a little bit more, which allows the train to bank as it makes its way around the curb. And you can see that just a little bit here as the train makes its way westbound around the peninsula here. Now in the background, there's another branch line which allows for a lot of great switching opportunities. And here, the tracks separate and continue around the peninsula and to the other side of the layout. The other side of the layout isn't quite finished scenery-wise. We'll take a look at that in the future once they get everything finished up. But here, coming through town, the two main tracks separate. They'll come back together on the other side of town. But a lot of neat industry, and like I said, just really great job overall on the layout here. Now, one of my favorite things about this layout is the attention to detail, from the vines growing up the building in the background to all sorts of other things which you've probably seen in this layout. But one of my favorites is the out of service track here in the foreground. You can see there's an old switch which was taken out of service but left in place, and just like the old ties there and the spur, which used to be part of the old siding. So just really neat attention to detail all across this layout, and I'm sure you can pick up on it as you watch this video. I also want to take a minute and showcase the control of this layout. I mentioned there's touchscreen computers, and how that works is on the fascia in front of each control point is a touchscreen. You simply touch where you are, we're on the outside main line, and where we want to go, the inside branch line headed eastbound, and the switches will automatically throw for you. You can see the lights turn green, indicating that the switch is thrown and the route is set. So it's completely generated by the computer, and it throws all the switches, and just a really, really neat aspect of how this layout works. And it's completely custom designed, so they've got some great minds, great people working on this layout. So like I said, this is the N-scale layout of the Elmhurst Model Railroad Club. You can check out the HO scale layout in the video and the link in the description. And just wanted to thank the members here for allowing me to film and showcase some of the work they've done. Also, just a little bit farther down the road from Elmhurst is Lombard and lombardHobbies. This is my old local hobby shop, and it's also located just across the street from the UP West line. I've always thought it's a great idea to support local and go to your local hobby shop. For me, this was my local hobby shop for 5 years, and unfortunately where I am now, I don't have a local hobby shop. So this has continued to be my go-to spot. A lot of people have asked where I purchase our locomotives and trains and stuff for our layout, and continually Lombard's has been my go-to spot. And I can say that because I've been a customer here for 10 years, and I wouldn't recommend anything I don't support. And so while I was in town, I reached out to the owners and my friends Jeff and Andrew and asked if I could just have the opportunity to kind of showcase what they've done here, because from a hobby shop standpoint, it's incredible. One thing I always enjoy coming here is just the amount of stock they have in place here. With how the companies are structured these days, engines come in and go out within a couple weeks and are often sold out and hard to find for a couple years. And they've always ordered huge quantities here, which is great because it stays in stock for a long time. And with the competitive prices, it's a great place to find things that you probably can't find elsewhere, even from the distributor or manufacturer directly. So all sorts of new stock, but also old stock. You can see, here in the showcases, some Atlas models that have been long out of production, but are in stock here, and again, at a great price. So I've always enjoyed coming here and seeing unique things like this Metro locomotive, which I saw just a few minutes before while I was outside getting some fresh air. Really cool improvement, which I've appreciated, and actually the owners have asked some of us as modelers and customers, hey, what can we do to make the shop better? And some input was kind of just having a one-stop shop where you can get everything. So whether it's magazines or scenery supplies or custom building supplies, or for me it's been decoders and custom sound files and stuff like that. They've really incorporated that into their business, listened to the customers, and done some great things with that. So here's some N-scale stock that they have in here on the cabinets. I was noticing that these had just come from the manufacturer, and before they were even going on the shelves, people had pre-ordered these and were going straight into the boxes to head out the door. So great turnaround time, shipping. Really can't say enough good things about them. So just want to take some time to showcase that while I was in town. Here's their DCC compartment where they do installs, sell sound files, and some scenery supplies and scratch building supplies. Also just a great selection of Woodland Scenics products and all sorts of freight cars, and they have a great relationship with a lot of the manufacturers. So I've noticed that cars that you can't find elsewhere, I've been able to pick up here. And I'm usually like a kid in a candy store at any hobby shop, but especially here with just the amount of things that are hard to find and here on the shelves. Here's a few of the tangent cars, a lot of Rapido locomotives and cars here, as well as some neat Intermountain cars. I had a plan not to get anything while I was here, but I found an Amtrak Amfleet car, which had been out of stock for years, and I found one in the corner, and so wasn't able to leave empty-handed, which I guess is a good thing, but never my intention coming into a place like this. Well, y'all, we're here at a small demo layout at lombardHobbies, and that just about wraps up this video. If you want to check them out, I'll put a link in the description below as well. And if you have any questions or comments about anything you've seen today, let me know in the section below, and I'll do my best to get back to you. As always, thanks for watching. Really appreciate your time. I was able to film a couple other layouts while I was in town visiting, and so those will be coming in the future as well. So stay tuned for that. And until next time, I'll see you later.